Had to come down to 154 and make weight. Also saying he was the one who had to promote that fight. At that point, remember, Terry Norris, young, up-and-coming, pretty well unknown fighter, and that Leonard was the man who had to go around and do the promotion for the fight. And the question of whether you buy into that. Many fighters face that denial when they go out in such a manner. All right, we're down to a minute to go in round 7 of this one.
And a change in strategy in this 7th round from Keene. Watch him walk around, not as much pressure now. See him trying to step around to get the angle against Daniels. Here would be a perfect opportunity for Daniels to change speed, change tempo. These punches are all hard from both of these fighters.
Come on, come on, come on.
But they're not very quick. See, not quite as much pressure. Now standing off just a little bit is Keene. Remember earlier in this fight, he was closing that gap. When he would get inside, he was using form boxing. He'd put his head on the chest of Daniels and pound away at his body, push him back, and then pound at his head. This is a different round for Kenny Keene. Nice crowd out here. This is the first time that Ray Leonard is fighting here in Atlantic City.
They've configured the arena for about 12,000, and looks as if it may be SRO by the time our main event comes about. And legend returns. Not many legends in boxing in this day and age. Talked about before, charismatic type fighters. You can count them on the fingers of one hand and have fingers left over.
The finger of one hand, the finger of one finger.
It's round number 8 of the scheduled 12-rounder. And a fast start, high-paced. Essentially created by Kenny Keene, who stepped back in that 7th round. And Robert Daniels just right now going to the beat of his own drum. Corner trying to get him to pick up the action.
See how Daniels bends over to the waist. I think a punch that would work well for Keene is that uppercut right there.
I told you guys, watch your heads in there. You hear?
Watch your head, says Frank Cappuccino. See how close they are? And when Keene moves in, their heads are
means you too, Kenny.
right on one another. Means you too, Kenny. Kenny has more head there to hurt than Daniels.
Frank is the only referee who doesn't actually need a wireless mic. You still hear him throughout the arena.
Oh,
good
nice
left hand
work
by Daniels.
Nice work from Daniels. Can he keep that up? Daniels also trying to step around Keene. We saw the last round where Kenny was moving to the side, trying to get the angle on Daniels. Daniels trying to give it back this round. Oh, you got to reach around those elbows. So hard to hit a man in the body. Look at all the elbow shots. You have to look for the holes on your opponent. Try to get through that guard. Oh, that one got through. That one got through. You got to reach around behind that elbow.
Heavy shots by Robert Daniels here in the 8th.
Yeah, this is Daniels' best round so far. Kenny Keene has stopped punching. Kenny Keene is looking like Daniels did earlier in this fight.
And Keene's biggest victory over Terry Ray. Keene came in slugging, they traded, and Keene built up a lot of points very early in the fight, but then ran out of gas late.
Yeah, he said in that fight too, he controlled the pace of the fight in the first 7 rounds, just like in this fight. You know, the 8th round, he has really wilted. Keene has.
And again, that was the tape that Robert Daniels saw of Keene. And now it is Daniels picking up the pace here in the 8th round. Very slow approach for Daniels throughout the first 7.
Yeah, Daniels conserving his energy early. Keene was hopeful to run Daniels out of gas, but I think Keene did.
You got to roll that head.
All right. I know it's asking. Don't take a break. All right. Don't take a break. You know, you started running. You hit him in the body. You start punching him in the body. You got away from the other ones. Now he's got a bad left eye. All right. Okay. He's got a bad left eye.
Work on that eye.
Work on that damn eye. Keep your
In the
head
belly.
moving.
In the belly.
Wipe this off before you put the best.
Keep your head moving.
All right.
We're talking about the bad left eye that Robert Daniels has. And
Use him
there
like
it
a
is.
bag, all right? You
Applying
need these 4
inswell.
rounds. Let's go now. 4 rounds.
Dave Clark.
Go to the body, Joe.
The swelling has begun.
Yeah, that from the... A lot of right hands from Keene has made that left eye swell up with Robert Daniels. They applied the inswell to it between rounds. Got to push some of the air out of it too. When you're breathing in there, you breathe through your nose, it fills up that swelling pocket.
And you get the feeling that this fight has just begun.
You know what? That may have inspired Keene. Keene came out the first part of this round with a little bit more excitement in his punches.
Beaten to the punch in the last round, round number 8. And we'll see if Robert Daniels continues to keep his pace up.
Oh, body punches, debilitating shots downstairs from Daniels. Oh, they take so much out of you. Those body shots, they weaken your punches. Not only do they weaken your style, they're debilitating, but they also make your punches not as hard.
Maybe a little bit of a reach, but Keene look-alike of actor Ed Harris.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
After perhaps Ed punched for 8 straight rounds by Robert Daniels. But now you see a little cut developing under the left eye of Keene. Robert Daniels' shots are heavy. And now they're starting to add up, really taking the toll on Keene. Robert Daniels figuring that this is where he wins this fight in the last 4 or 5 rounds.
You see how the complexion of this fight has certainly changed. Keene giving ground now. Daniels on top of Keene, the way Keene was on top of Daniels earlier.
Robert Daniels looks like he's just starting this fight, and Keene looks like he's gone 15 already. So Robert Daniels right now with his strength and that solid build just closing in on Keene. Keene right in there. So still hammering away, trying to get that jab going. Inside 30 seconds to go in the 9th, and that's the first clinch of this fight. Robert Daniels very machine-like.
Yeah, waiting, looking for the openings. Really focused now, and he should be.
Well, this fight taking a turn. Coming up next, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hector Camacho, the two showmen in the ring. And you'll hear from Sugar Ray Leonard on why he is coming back. And you'll hear from Hector Camacho on why Sugar Ray should not be coming back. Or maybe coming back for the last time, according to the Macho Man.
Dad, everything you got put in.
Okay, now some smiles in the corner of Robert Daniels for the first time, and you see the contrast in the corner of Kenny Keene. They were thrilled early in the fight, and now the concern.
Joe, we got to take these 3 rounds now.
Robert Daniels continues to grind away. He's coming off 2 big rounds in 8 and 9. It's a question of whether Kenny Keene was able to put enough rounds in the bank in the first 7.
Yeah, big turning point in that eighth round. Daniels looked like a new fighter. He got some inspiration because Keene seemed to wilt in that 7th round. He was moving away more. He was boxing more. He's trying to get the angles instead of fighting straight head on like he had been doing through the first 7 rounds.
The mouthpiece of Daniels comes out. Yeah, the rule here is the mouthpiece could be returned in a lull of action, but there have not been many lulls in this one.
There it is.
Over there.
Fabricated lull.
Let's go, let's go.
And neither of these fighters had a problem with that.
They're ready for a second or two to take a breath.
Now put it in his mouth right. You got in there?
Right back to work.
Talking about the will, the heart, the courage of Livingstone Bramble. Kenny Keene with the same. He's taking some hard shots now to the body. Daniels really working the angles. But Keene
Daniels
right
really
in there.
picking it up, but King has to now turn this fight
Break.
around. He had Daniels in a shell until Keene started backing up. And Daniels came on, and now he's the battle for this back and forth the last minute and a half of this round.
This is the IBC Cruiserweight Championship. Round number 10 scheduled for 12. Right now it is vacant. Winner moves in. Robert Daniels, the former WBA Cruiserweight champ. And Kenny Keene now knows what it's like to fight a former world champion who is not yet out of his prime.
Break. Both of them.
Inside a minute to go in the 10th.
What a draining fight, too. A lot of elbows in there, a lot of headbutts. You know, you get hit even on the arm. The next day it swells up. You have a bruise there. On the arm, all up and down your body, you have bruises. Just because it's a battle. It's pushing, shoving, it's fighting, wrestling. And every one of these shots from both fighters are hard. They're putting their weight behind every shot. It is more difficult to knock out a fighter when he suspects you're going to hit him hard. Sometimes you got to roll him into false sense of security.
As you can see, the legs getting a little wobbly of Kenny Keene, trying to beeline back to the corner and not taking that straight route. Crowd packing in here, seeing the conclusion of this cruiserweight fight and awaiting the arrival of Sugar Ray
Take the
Leonard.
body, Kenny. He ain't got that much
He
left
made
in
it
his
to the cover of
punches, huh?
Sports Illustrated
Sit
for
down
the
on
8th
him.
time in his career in this comeback
Sit down
bid.
on him, Kenny.
Sugar Ray Leonard says,
Just like you're
I'll
just
admit it,
starting,
I like
man.
the attention.
All this hard
Boom, coming back and on the cover of SI. 11th round begins. Robert Daniels doing a job to the body. And here as we begin the 11th, it is Keene moving in a backwards fashion.
Backing up, beginning the round, backing up Keene. Something he is not used to.
Those shots by Daniels just ripping through the arms of Keene. Daniels looks as fresh now as he did starting the fight. Two crucial rounds. Keene may have won enough rounds early.
All right, break. Now, when I say
that
step
if he could
back, I
take
want you to
these
focus,
two,
step back.
even though the last 3 or 4 he has taken some pounding, still pull this one out or secure it.
Oh, a couple of nice right hands from Keene. Daniels comes right back. Look at this pressure from Daniels too. Oh, good combination. That's what Daniels needs. Look, do you see the speed there? That's speed we've not seen from Daniels. He needs more of that. You know, by the 11th round too, most of the fighters see that distance. They see that 12th round. They only have 6, 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go. You really take the power off your punches, really just try to accumulate the points. A lot of times in doing that, you might get the knockout. Just try to build them up, rack them up. Throw as many combinations, as many punches as you can. Lay your gloves on your opponent's head. Oh, the swelling around the left eye of Daniels. Keene also has had some swelling around his left eye. Both fighters landing, there's a look at the eye, landing the right hand well. They were telling Keene between rounds, go for that eye. Use it as a target. Look at the swelling and land right on that swelled eye.
All right, come on, let him go, Kenny.
Daniels has tasted the best punch of Keene. That is his right hand.
Oh, and those jabs right on the left eye of Daniels. That one on the eye.
Again, in with a combination out. Daniels. Daniels shows some great skills as a cruiserweight. What makes him the complete package?
Well, at this point, I think more of those explosions. I think he's got some things to work on. Good fighter. He has a lot of good tools.
And now the final instructions going into the 12th round.
Wow, look at that eye,
We're
too.
the world champion again.
Come on.
We waited long, Robert.
Robert,
Give
get your hands
this
down here. Take
everything.
deep breath.
Put everything you got into this, Robert.
What round is this?
This is it.
This is it, Joe.
Robert, this is for everything. Everything we worked.
Come here. Here's some water, Dwayne. This is it, Dwayne. Listen, I got him hurt. We took the last 2, 3 rounds.
Final round.
Last round,
Something
Robert.
tells me in that corner they think they have won
All
this
right.
fight. Robert Daniels, I think that man, Keene would argue the point.
You can't even see you.
Last round, Kenny. Thank you.
You can't see you.
Keene listening to his corner, Dave Thomas, Jerry Bedell.
Go that way.
Gotta win it.
Ladies and
Keene
gentlemen,
in that
this is
corner,
the 12th and
taking
final
every
round.
100th of a second.
Don't get nuts, either one of you. Let's go.
Round number 12. They asked for Robert Daniels to not hold back. You know Keene will not. Keene opening it up.
What a battle. What a draining fight. Really a war. This is the kind of fight that Keene wanted this to be. He says a win tonight will propel him where he always wanted to be, and that's champion of the world.
But Keene has been right there in front of Daniels for most of the night. And close enough to score and close up the left eye of Daniels, but also in close enough to be scored upon. by those hammering shots from
Daniels. Yeah, Daniels has been tagging since that 8th round. Daniels really putting the pressure on last half of this fight. Did he get too many of those early rounds away? I thought Keene won the first 7 rounds, and in a 12-rounder.
Oh, Daniels catches Keene with that left. Halfway through the 12th, the crowd now getting into this, sensing that perhaps Keene could be in trouble.
Oh, how that happens. See, when you take the power off and you work with the speed, speed is power in boxing. When you take that power off, you not only hit your opponent, you connect with him well, sometimes you knock him out. Some of the tape now has wiggled loose on the left glove of Keene.
There's only the 3rd break of the whole fight by referee Frank Cappuccino. 2 guys are in there to fight. There's 2 real classy individuals in and out of the ring.
Real nice, real gentlemen. You wouldn't believe that the way they're fighting. What Keene is doing is he is moving to the left hook of Daniels. See him moving to his right? Daniels' best punch is that left hook. Keene is running right into that left hook. He's moving over to his right. What you try to do is you try to steer your opponent into your power shot. Do that by using your feet. That is what Daniels is doing at this point. That's why he's being so effective with that left hook.
30 seconds to go in the fight. And if this one now is teetering very closely on the scorecards, final 20 seconds could decide it. 15 seconds now to go. Is there a flurry to conclude it?
Break. Step back.
5
Step back. Come on,
seconds.
let him go.
Grueling match.
All arms up in the air. Nice hand from the big crowd here, over 10,000 at the Atlantic City Convention Center. They're waiting for Sugar Ray Leonard and Hector Camacho. The main event tonight. And now we await the scorecards. And did Kenny Keene do enough early to hang on throughout the onslaught of Robert Daniels over the course of those last 5 rounds? The winner will wear the IBC belt.
And they think they got it. They think they got it over there in Daniels' corner. His handlers happy, applauding. Tim Keene pretty quiet, but he looks like a worn-out warrior. For good reason. This was, as I mentioned, this was a battle. There's Daniels. Yeah, one more shot at those judges' scorecards on my knee.
He is an ordained preacher. Miami, goes around his community reading the scriptures.
Been a preacher since 1995.
Box the first 4 or 5 rounds. That way it wouldn't even been any contest. Understand? No contest at all.
Champion.
You did great.
Well, he says he is a religious fiter. He says it's better to give in the ring than receive.
Last 5 rounds big.
But found out tonight you could do a little bit of both. Kenny Keene giving quite a bit early and then receiving late. The pride of Emmett, Idaho. And the folks in Emmett and all of Idaho should be very proud of this cruiserweight contender.
Yeah, I know. That's what.
Very difficult to move backwards. And it was those hammering arms of Robert Daniels that finally got Keene in somewhat of a backward motion late in this fight.
I got nothing.
Michael Buffer now in the middle of the ring. He's got the scorecards. Let's get the decision.
Robert, can you come on like this?
Ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of Caesars Atlantic City, we go to the scorecards. John Stewart scores the bout 115 to 113 for Keene. Dana DePauli scores the bout 116 to 113 for Daniels. And Larry Dickey scores it 115 to 113 for the winner on a split decision and new cruiserweight champion of the world, Robert the Preacher Man Daniels.
Well, it It's a vacant title, so
How did Daniels know?
either one would have been the new, but at the same time that Daniels went berserk, Kenny Keene also showing the sign of disappointment. As it turned out, Daniels was the winner, one eye and all, and he now has another belt to go along with his WBA Cruiserweight Championship. And for Daniels, no pun intended, hopes to open up the eyes of the other champions in the division and move on. So closely fought. Kenny Keene racking up the points early. Robert Daniels coming on like a sledgehammer late and wins it by a split decision and becomes the new IBC Cruiserweight champion. And let's send it up now to Michael Barkan. Michael?